Right now, humanity is under attack. The current Earth system has unleashed 5 powerful demons feeding on your energy, keeping you trapped in misery. And unless you defeat these 5 demons, you cannot awaken to your true power. In this video, I'll reveal what these demons are, how they operate, and the secret practices that allow you to destroy them and unlock the 5 powers of immortality. There are 5 demons that are sent to destroy humanity. You must destroy each of them or you will face misery, disease, and misfortune. The worst part is these demons will force you to destroy yourself. So this may be a challenging concept. It might sound frightening, but as we go through this video, you're going to understand that what I'm saying is absolutely the truth, and it will reveal and explain some things about your reality you may not have understood yet. Each of these 5 demons seeks to destroy one of your internal organs. The first stage of attack will be emotional turmoil. The second stage creates insanity. The third stage results in physical illness. So again, this sounds very extreme, but insanity could simply be described as not being able to see the objective truth as a result of emotional attachments. So keep an open mind about this, and without any extreme reactions one way or another, listen to what we're talking about, because to look at it this way has actually been very helpful for people for thousands of years who have actually attained immortality, ascended beyond this third dimension. These 5 demons are a natural part of our 3D reality and can be defeated, but the dark forces who enslave you actively seek to awaken these demons within you and use them to control your mind and hypnotize you to destroy yourself. So yes, this is something that all humans have had to deal with on some level, and in differing times and in differing situations, they have had the tools and they've had the ability to face these demons and repel them. But we live in a time now where the dark forces that are controlling this world, seeking to enslave everybody, they know exactly what these 5 demons are, and they want you to be helpless against them. In fact, what they are doing is they are teaching you to feed these demons and to give yourself over to them as a source of their food. The names of the demons are control, despair, anxiety, fear, perseveration. The organs these demons destroy are the liver, the lungs, the heart, kidneys, and spleen. So let's go over this one by one. So the first demon, control. Obviously, if you live in a reality where you're trying to control everything, you are going to be miserable, you are going to be unsuccessful. So there's an organ in your body that is connected to this, and this is the liver. So when you live your life trying to control the past, especially, trying to control what has happened, trying to control everybody else, being inflexible, the organ that is going to suffer the most in your body is the liver. And there is an emotion attached to this. Control, resentment. These things build up, and this will end up, first off, it will make you emotionally unstable. It will create then mental problems, and then later the liver itself will begin to deteriorate as a result of not facing this. So that's the first one. Second one is despair. So despair is a good word when you think about somebody who isn't just giving up, because that's not what despair is. Despair is somebody who has tried, continuously tried over and over and over to accomplish something, and they've come to the realization that they cannot achieve what they want. So their desire to achieve their goal, their desperation has not waned. They've just come to some realization that nothing can ever be done. And so they end up going into a profound state of active and extreme sadness. This is despair. And the organs that suffer from this will be the lungs. So if you want to know where some of those diseases come from, it comes from despair, giving up, but not giving up in a peaceful way of, okay, I surrender. It's giving up because you're desperately trying, but absolutely nothing works. And so you're on this spinning, hamster wheel of despair. And then we have anxiety. Anxiety is associated with the heart. So anxiety is more than just feeling uncomfortable. Anxiety is when you can't even begin to put your finger on what the problem is. You feel intensely that something is off, that something is wrong. It's not a feeling of worry. Because worry, you're trying to figure things out. This is just a feeling that something is very, very wrong, and you're just all over the place with it. It's a very intense feeling. And so this affects the heart. And this is where this demon will eventually attack if you allow it to follow through. The next emotion is fear. And this is associated with the kidneys. So fear is an intense fear that you are about to expire because you don't have the necessary resources to survive. You don't have resources or immediately for the physical body, food and water and shelter. For those of us in modern society, it's things like money, prestige, bank account, your credit score, your reputation in society. These things are now the resources that we have. Originally, our human ancestors, they just had to worry about, do I have a safe place to sleep? Do I have water? Do I have food? And can I stay warm? That's all that they needed. Those were the only resources that they had. And now we've got all these other things that are made up. And so this is why society has made these things up. Your credit score, your bank account, your career, your reputation. These are ideas, but they're enough to destroy. And again, this is why people have lower back pain. I'm old enough to remember that people didn't used to have lower back pain. When I was a little kid, this wasn't a thing. It didn't become a thing until the late 60s, early 70s. And that's because before that time, people used to have stomach ulcers until doctors came out and publicly said that stomach ulcers are a result of stress, of worry. And so once people realized that, stomach ulcers went away. But all of a sudden people started having back pain. Back pain is the kidneys. So it went even deeper. It went to the source of feeling a disconnect from the mother, from the flowing water of resources. So this is why kidneys are such an important organ, and this is the demon that attacks that is the demon of fear. So then there's another demon, the demon of perseveration. Maybe you've heard of this word, maybe you haven't. It's a very, very good word for this emotion. So there are some people that have mental illnesses or they have mental injuries, autistic people lots of times. And what they do is they focus on something and they perseverate. So to persevere means to push through, but perseverate means you keep talking about the same thing over and over again, or you're trying to fix a problem over and over and over and over again and it never gets fixed. So, if you're constantly thinking about politics and you've got to have your political leader in, and that is one example. You've got to figure out the right shoes. You can't find or there's just one subject you can't keep stopping from talking about. You perseverate. This is the earth element, and it's associated with the spleen and with the digestion tract. So people who are being attacked in their earth element, it means they cannot even begin to make sense of how life works. They get focused on one problem and they perseverate over and over and over. So these are the names of the 5 demons. The fastest way to destroy these 5 demons is with the higher dimensional Shi energy. So this is the energy that has been kept secret for thousands of years. It's just now being revealed publicly for the first time. The teachers that I learned it from, they knew about it, but I was told I had to keep my knowledge of this art and this energy secret. But I am choosing to release it to the whole world. And so the Shi energy is the energy in the heart. It is the lightning energy that surrounds the heart and protects the soul from the 3rd dimension. It is a higher dimensional energy. It is made of lightning. And when it is released out of the body, it gives human beings powers to destroy these interdimensional negative forces that I'm choosing to call demons. So the fastest way to destroy these 5 demons is with the higher dimensional Shi energy. For most humans, they have to dedicate their entire lives to face and destroy these demons through years of intense meditation, rituals, prayers, and energy practices. And even then, many still fail to defeat them. So I've been alive on this planet long enough to see this happen. And I can tell you I can even tell you at certain phases in their life when they shifted, when they succumbed to the demons of these 5 forces. And what ends up happening is that you walk a path of self-destruction. And that's the whole point. These demons are here seeking to get you to destroy yourself. But all the while, you will be blaming everything outside of you. This has happened to teachers that I've had. This has happened to friends that I've known. This has happened to a lot of people, family members. And again, I saw in their lives when they turned around and started destroying themselves. So before, what people who knew about these 5 demons and how to fight them, what they used to do is they would take on a lifetime, decades of intense meditation, prayer, ritual, and they knew that it was going to be a lifelong struggle before they even began to see any real victory over these negative forces. But things are changing. The beings of light, the immortals, are beginning to give human beings tools that were once thought to be too powerful. And so now we can actually make huge gains in gaining victory over these negative forces. And you can see them in some cases almost instantaneously. If you're willing to face yourself. It doesn't mean it's a free ride. You are going to have to face yourself. Again, for most people, they would spend their whole life slowly unveiling and facing these things. If you want to gain any real traction, you're going to have to look at things, and there's going to be a much shorter time span. The good news is you're going to gain power, a lot of power, very fast. The bad news is you're going to have some intense feelings in the short term. When the 5 demons are defeated, they are transformed into 5 powers that serve and make the person invincible. Then the person can begin to awaken the 3 portals of infinity. So you've heard, this isn't something that I'm making up. This is something that you hear about a lot. For instance, the Tibetan Buddhists, The Tibetan Buddhists talk about demons, evil spirits that they converted to Buddhism that then turned around and worked for them. Well, this is true in what we're talking about, but in an even stronger sense. These 5 demons, the demons of control, the demons of despair, of anxiety, of fear, and of perseveration, these emotional powers can be completely flipped around. So with the intensity that these demons were seeking to get you to destroy yourself, these powers then will turn around and give you power to take agency in your life and rise above in the exact intense power in the opposite direction for your happiness, your success. So we also now have the ability to awaken the 3 portals of infinity. So the 5 powers are generosity, hope, peace, trust, and acceptance. When you have mastery over these powers, you have mastery over the 3rd dimensional world. So this is what I'm saying. You have to gain some mastery over your 3rd dimensional reality before you can even get to the part where you're going to awaken the 3 centers and become an immortal. So we'll talk about that. So once the 5 powers are established, the person can now become a healthy, happy, prosperous individual. After establishing the 5 powers, the individual can choose to be simply a happy 3-dimensional person, or they can decide to ascend beyond the 3rd dimension by activating the 3 portals in the navel center, the heart center, and the 3rd eye center. If the person decides to begin the higher ascension activation process, the portals begin to release the Shi energy throughout the body. So now we're going into a whole different area. In fact, up until this point, basically all spiritual paths were seeking to get you to destroy the 5 demons so that you could function and be successful in this world. We live in a world that is shifting to a completely different frequency. So we're moving up. And whenever we move up from one dimension to another, it's an exponential shift upwards. So once you've gotten the 5 element energies in some kind of healthy direction, then you can begin shooting for a higher dimensional awakening. That can only be done if you awaken the 3 portals. We talked about that. Okay, so after establishing the 5 powers, the individual can choose to be a happy 3D person or decide to ascend beyond the 3rd dimension by activating the 3 portals. We talked about that. To begin the modern Maoshan immortal practices, the first step is to awaken the 6D Shi lightning energy into the body. So I'm not going to get into the spiritual physics of it, but what we do in the practices is we are actually tapping into 6th dimensional. So going from the 3rd to the 4th is a huge shift. Going from the 4th to the 5th is even another huge exponential shift. To go from the 5th to the 6th is a huge exponential shift. So I'm letting you know that the level of power that is coming into your body isn't just 1 dimension above or 2 dimensions above. It's all the way up from the 6th dimension. And this is why those of you who are doing these practices with me, it can be, sometimes you really have to hang on because you feel like you're getting pulled in so many directions. But if you stop and think about it, you're physically healthier, your external life goes better, and you can see the truth beyond the 3rd dimensional veil. So the first step is to awaken the 6D Shi, the lightning energy, into the body. This is done with the exercises Summoning the Immortals. That exercise can be found here at thunderwizard.com. Click on shop. I'll show you later, and you can find that exercise there. This exercise is probably simultaneously the easiest and most powerful. I mean, there are others that are more powerful, but in terms of simplicity and power, you can't get a greater combination than summoning the immortals. We also have the lightning qigong and the celestial qigong. So the lightning qigong and the celestial qigong, these are entry-level practices. That doesn't mean that they're mild at all. The celestial qigong was the first one I created, and I had people who were Tai Chi masters, yoga masters, who had spent their whole life mastering what they thought to be the most powerful energies on this planet, and they just did a little bit of the celestial qigong, and they all came back to me and said, we've never felt anything of this frequency, this high purity. We've never felt anything like it. So those two are there, and that's the beginning. So the beginning 3 exercises, you don't have to do all of them. You can do one or all of them. I recommend all. Summoning the immortals, lightning qigong, and celestial qigong. Now, once the Shi is safely activated, then the person can begin to destroy the 5 demons with the 5-element spirit fighting practices. So the 5-element spirit fighting practices is like, so if we could take it like this, so let's say that celestial qigong, you do that, you're gonna release the 6D lightning energy in the body. You're gonna begin to activate the 3 portals, your nervous system, your meridians, your mind, your spirit. All of these things are going to begin to shift up to a higher frequency. But that's sort of like you're sort of exuding this higher dimensional frequency. If that's where it's all you want to go, that's fine. But what if you want to go to the next level? So exponentially then, if you could take those energies and put them into laser beams and shoot them at negativity. That's what it's like when you go to the 5-element practices. Now we're seeking to actually destroy, to fight, literally hand to hand with these demons that are seeking to get you to destroy yourself. So, let's see, I wasn't done talking here yet. So once the Shi is safely activated, then the person can begin to destroy the 5 demons with the 5-element spirit fighting practices. The wood exercise defeats the demon of control and awakens the power of generosity. The metal exercise defeats the demon of despair and awakens the power of hope. The fire exercise destroys the demon of anxiety and awakens the power of peace. The water exercise destroys the demon of fear and awakens the power of trust. The earth exercise destroys the demon of perseverance and awakens the power of acceptance. Okay, so this is how powerful these 5 elements are. But we are still only now at the intermediate stage. But don't discount it. Because just doing these exercises, again, I've trained in this for over 30 years, and every single person who has put the tiniest bit of effort into these practices has come back and said, I've never felt anything like what's happening when I do these sets. So I recommend you do all 5 of them, and we'll talk about where you can get them coming up. So after awakening the 5 powers, then the person can begin the exercises for the 3 higher dimensional portals. The lower gate, or the navel, is awakened with the Hands of Infinity exercise. The middle gate is awakened with the butterfly hands exercise, and the final gate in the third eye is awakened with the immortal fist exercise. After defeating the 5 demons and activating the 3 portals, then the person continues with meditation and continued practice of the exercises. At this stage, the person is able to become a protector of the new 5D earth. So this is something that I don't believe anybody has even begun to understand. I think because this is the first time in history that the immortals have begun releasing this information. So I became aware of this 20 or 30 years ago. I don't remember how, but I was doing the 5-element spirit fighting practices, and the level of power that was coming through me. Bear in mind, I used to be an exorcist. So I know when I'm in the presence of an energy that will destroy demons. And the power that I was experiencing, I started to get this message that this is going to be the practice that we give to humans who have a destiny to become guardian angels, spirit protectors. So in the new 5D world, in order to protect the souls that have achieved some ascension, there are going to be people who are going to have the powers of Michael the Archangel, of any kind of demon fighting power that's bigger than anything you can imagine. This is the kind of power that we're working with. This is why this power was too dangerous. But now it's time to call all of those people who have been called to this. And so that's exactly what I'm doing. So after awakening, let's see. Let's go. After defeating the 5 demons and activating the 3 portals, then the person continues with meditation, continued practice of the exercises. At this stage, the person then becomes a protector of the new 5D earth. All right, so I repeated myself a little bit there. Okay, so I know this sounds very unbelievable, very fantastical, and yet I'm only telling you what your human mind is capable of comprehending. The truth is far, far more powerful and far, far more fantastical. This is by far the single most powerful energy practice that has ever been given to human beings. And I am the last, if not one of the last, people on this planet who has access to this knowledge. I not only have access to the knowledge that my teachers gave me, I've gotten access to practices that they didn't know about, my teacher and his teacher, and I've been given new practices that have come directly from higher dimensional light beings to give to human beings so that they can free themselves from the 5 demons, so that they can awaken the 3 portals and become gods. You have the 5 organs which you free when you do destroy the 5 demons, and you get the 5 powers, and then you awaken the deities within the 3 centers. Then you start to go on the path of being an immortal who ascends to a higher frequency. Those who follow this path, they will become very, very powerful protectors. This isn't the only path to ascension, but there are different roles that different people will have. If you're called to this, it may mean that you're called to be a protector against evil. So if you want to get access to that, you can go to the shop, thunderwizard.com. Click on shop, you'll see the 5-element spirit fighting sets. You'll see the summoning the immortals and the celestial qigong. So those are available in the shop. And for those that want to do the Warrior 90-Day Lightning Qigong, which I recommend, especially if you've had stiffness, if you've had illness, if you have a lot of trauma to overcome, I recommend the Warrior 90-Day Lightning Qigong. So for that, you go to Patreon, which is thunderwizard.com, but this time you click on memberships. So you see on the left there, Warrior 90-Day Lightning Qigong. Get that. You will have access to more practices than I can even list, including Maoshan practices, including the original meditations that were used 2,000 years ago. You'll have access to some spirit fighting practices. One of the butterfly, a modified butterfly set, that doesn't make it any less powerful. It's still extremely powerful. And then after you've done the Maoshan 5-element forms, or even if you've just gotten them, even if you haven't finished learning them all yet, then what I want you to do is go to thunderwizard.com and hit the memberships, and you can subscribe to the Maoshan Level 1 instructional videos. You will have access to all of the Warrior 90-Day Lightning Qigong as well. But again, those Maoshan Level 1 instructional videos are only for people who have the 5-element spirit fighting forms that you see here and are at least ready to start practicing them. If you don't have those, I'd prefer you didn't subscribe to that, because then you're trying to come in the back door and it's not going to help you. All right, so there it is. We still have, as we always have had, we have the live interdimensional meditation that we have every Wednesday and Saturday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, and we have been focusing a lot on the goddess Sekhmet, who, by the way, is that she lightning power we were talking about. It is the concentrated form of the sun you just to interact with her yourself, you'll find out how amazing she is. She's unbelievably loving and amazing, and she's the single most powerful entity in existence. She will protect you from evil, and she will chase down all of the negativity that's coming after you. So that is free. You don't have to subscribe or sign up for anything. You just come onto the channel, and we do these twice a week, Wednesday and Saturday, 8:30 p.m. You can go to the live section if you can't make it, and you can just simply click play and follow along any of the live guided meditations. All right, so that's it, my friends. I hope you're doing well. And if you have questions about this, go ahead and put questions in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel, and more of this will come. I think I now have a better way of describing the exact path. So you got it. We've got to first address these 5 demons that are trying to destroy us. We need to destroy their negative powers, flip them around, turn them into the positive powers. Then we need to fill our body with this She energy. We do continue to work with the 5 elements, and then we open up these 3 centers. And then we will be that much closer to shifting. I love you all. Please be good to yourselves. I will see you all very soon.